Yo, this might be one of the best Marvel Netflix seasons we done got. No, don't bring Danny in. Don't bring Danny into this. Don't bring Dan.
Killer bees exact, flipping what? Murder one fact tracks, I kick it like what like I get that ass raw on spike. Check the mythical black rock, and I rock it in the bed. Just like rockin' what? Twin clock. Shake the ground while my beats just break it down. Raw sound, going to war right now. Do your bombing. We usually take all niggas bombing. Save your breath before I'll be that insane.
Huh. That wasn't bad. Cool. So yeah, Luke Cage season 2 might be one of the best Marvel Netflix TV seasons we got to date. Hold on, before we start, I gotta see this one more time. Yo, it never gets old. Let's get into it. What up, family? It's your boy Amaru back with another review, and this time I'm reviewing Marvel's Luke Cage Season 2. Now, Season 1 was pretty good until a certain, let's say, disappearance happens in the middle of the season, and from there, it just went downhill. Season 2, infinitely better. So much so that I even think it holds its own against shows like The Punisher. Now, those two shows are kind of different, so I'm not saying that Luke Cage is better than The Punisher. What I'm saying is that Luke Cage knows what it is and embraces everything that fans loved about the first 6 or 7 episodes of the series. So this season, we see Luke, played again by Mike Coulter, trying to accept his new celebrity as the hero of Harlem. Still trying to avoid jail because of his vigilantism, he has to balance fighting crime with stopping every 10 seconds to take pictures, a new Harlem's Hero app that shows everywhere he's going, and trying to live a normal life that deep down he knows he's not going to be able to have. Then a new threat in the form of a Jamaican rude boy, Bushmaster, played by Mustafa Shakir, comes in claiming to be the rightful king of Harlem. Now, Luke must fight off this new enemy while still trying to keep Harlem safe from old enemies like Alfre Woodard's Mariah Dillard.
Mariah Stokes. Mariah Stokes.
For me, Luke Cage has always been one of the more entertaining Marvel Netflix series because it was a realistic representation of what a neighborhood like Harlem would do if they had a 6'3" bulletproof black man walking around. It always displayed every aspect of Harlem. Its rawest parts, its richest parts, its most ridiculous parts. How on one block you have to avoid so you don't get shot, to the next block where all your favorite uncles are outside their favorite barbershop playing dominoes. Luke Cage always did really well in portraying this, especially in the fact that they personify Harlem in the character of Luke. Now, this is Mike Coulter's 4th time playing Luke, and it's probably his best. He still has the physical prowess to show the power that Luke has, but surprisingly has a lot of vulnerability that shows off all the sadness and pain within Luke. But the one thing that Mike Coulter does well that kind of balances all the different characters and settings and harmonizes everything into one is how corny this dude is. Mike, don't ever do that again. His one-liners are the definition of cornball, but somehow women still love him. He's the dude that bobs his head to the words, not the music. For being a bulletproof black man, he is the stiffest runner I have ever seen in my life. You know, he's like the dude on the Senegalese soccer team who couldn't keep up with everybody else when they were doing the World Cup warm-up that somebody brilliantly set to Drew Hill. wasn't the only one who saw that guy, right? You can't help but laugh with and not at that corniness. That humor is really necessary because this season does really well in touching a lot of deep topics that are very prevalent in the black community. Loyalty, honor, family, blood or otherwise, broken parent-child relationships, especially between father and son and mother and daughter, snitch culture, the ostracizing of therapy, the suppression of sadness, depression, and anger. It does really well putting a spotlight on the deafening silence around these topics that's all too familiar within our communities and leads to way too familiar endings. These types of themes are furthered even more by the amazing visuals and fantastic music. Over both seasons, the directors used that Biggie crown photo as a great foreshadowing or characterization device. So this season, whenever you see a crown over somebody's head, you're comparing it like, look, it's over somebody's head in this other episode, but now it's slightly off, and it just brings up a lot of questions and creates a lot of tension that grips you every time you see those types of shots. But nothing compares to the music. The music in the show is just as important as any character, any conflict, any action scene. It's just used perfectly to create a mood or further the plot. There are 5-minute long live performances that don't break up the storytelling. They actually coincide with what's going on and make you feel more invested in the show. I was really surprised at how invested I was in this season with its lack of action. Probably has less action than every other Marvel Netflix season besides Jessica Jones. They should still decrease the number of episodes from 13 to 10, and there are some scenes that linger a little bit too long, but there isn't a wasted episode, nor is there a wasted performance. Every single actor that shows up on screen plays their role exceedingly well. Some of my early favorites include Ron Cephas Jones as the coolest man on earth, Bobby Fish, and the smartest person in any room, on any scene, on any Marvel Netflix show, Rosario Dawson as Claire Temple. Simone Missick is really fierce as Misty Knight, Jeremiah Kraft is hilarious as DW, and Alfre Woodard is intense as the exceedingly flawed Mariah.
Stokes. Mariah Stokes.
But the two standouts this season are Theo Rossi as Shades and Mustafa Shakir as Bushmaster. Now, last season, Shades was kind of forgettable alongside Cottonmouth, but this season, he is probably the most well-rounded, most emotionally invested character that has the best arc throughout the entire season. He's cunning, he's conniving, he's compelling, he's every other C word that you can think of that means he's really, really good. But he doesn't hold a candle to Bushmaster. Mustafa Shakir is a beast. Ruthless, powerful, unmoving, charming, epitomizes everything about respect and dignity and honor, and he just makes you root for him the second he is on screen. The one really small thing that epitomizes everything great about him is the fact that he never lets any character say Mariah Dillard's name unchecked.
I'm here on behalf of Mariah Dillard.
Stokes. Mariah Stokes.
Dillard.
Mariah Stokes. Mariah Stokes.
Stokes. Dillard, bitch.
Every time that he corrects somebody with her name, it reminds you that he's just about his business. Both of these characters move with intelligence and move with strength. And what the writers did really well is surrounded them with counterparts that weren't just yes men. Each of their right-hand men and women would check them on all their flaws and all their mistakes, and that elevated both Rossi's and Shakir's performances to higher heights. Luke Cage Season 2's biggest strength lies in its ability to take multiple characters, settings, themes, and storylines and thread them together into one seamless, satisfying story. So I'm sticking by my claim that this season is a top 3 Netflix Marvel television season. Also, Bushmaster is a top 3 antagonist in all of Marvel's universe. Movies, televisions, all of it. So with that, I'm giving Season 2 of Marvel's Luke Cage 9 out of 10 Cornell Cottonmouth Stokes laughs. Alright, y'all, that was my review for Marvel's Luke Cage Season 2. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe, and the written review link is below. Hope to see y'all on the next one. Peace. Some of my early favorites include Ron Cephas Jones as the coolest man on earth, Bobby Fish, and Rosario Dawson as the smartest person in the room through all... No!